What's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Tell the Truth podcast. I'm your host, DG, with my boy, CJ. Unfortunately, D-Mac is out tonight, a little bit under the weather, so we're going to pray for him. Hopefully, he starts feeling a little bit better.
Pray for D-Mac, bro.
I don't blame him for not wanting to be here because, unfortunately, the Chiefs took an L in Green Bay. Wasn't a pretty game from weather to the way we played. You know,
Ugly game for sure. Up and
very
down
very
game.
ugly game.
Up and down.
A lot of just felt like we were off course. Feel like Sunday night. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, like everything was
it was
going good,
like
and then it like hits us at the end, bro. It's like
yeah,
our situational football is like we do so good in the first half, and then the second half we just like
just
Thanos snap. It's like, bro, like so it's always 2 plays in a half where we're always like we can't make those two simple plays.
right. Yeah.
So
Let's
gotta figure it out.
let's figure it out, man. Let's get into it.
Deep
What was your
dive.
thoughts? What was your thoughts on the game? Initial thoughts.
Initially, I thought the offense moved the ball well. It was amazing to see. I think we kind of can get rid of the notion that we don't run the ball in short yardage because we've done that for like 3 weeks straight now. The Philly
Mm-hmm.
game, we did it very well. We did it versus the Raiders, and we've done it this Sunday night versus the Packers. So we
Mm-hmm.
have 3 touchdowns on their short yardage in the goal line on the red zone in the past 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that notion of like we don't run the football when we want to, like we had those conversations before the season started. DG, first half of the year, we just don't really get involved in the run game as much as we should. That's why the complaints come from. And usually the trend of like once December starts and January football comes, we start to get into the notion of running the football. And I think we've done that the last 3 weeks for sure. So that's something positive to take from the offense. We're establishing our dominance up front. The O-line's been great getting holes. Pacheco is top 5 in the league in rushing right now. He was the #1 rusher this past weekend. So Pacheco's been amazing, playing like an all-pro, playing like a Pro Bowl running back. He's having a great year. Now, for the pass catchers, we're kind of seeing the same issues. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing because I thought we were turning the corner, DG, versus the Raiders. Because we fixed a lot of the same issues. It was like we got it down to 3 guys,
Mm-hmm.
4 receivers, 1 tight end. This is the rotation we're going with. And then this week we kind of see those same issues. Multiple guys playing, some guys getting. It's just like the notion of like I don't know, like obviously a lot of our people, like our fans, have been play football, so they watch. DG, you know how this feels like to get a target when you haven't been seeing the ball for like 3 quarters is crazy to me. Like you haven't been throwing the ball to somebody for two
Wow.
hours,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you expect them to make one of the biggest plays of the game. That's just it's wild to me because any offense I've been in, any level of ball I play, whether it be college, high school, like after college, you have to get into a rhythm. And that's in anything in life, in a job, and like any type of sport. You have to get a rhythm to be successful at it. So to not touch the ball for 3 quarters and then you throw the ball to a guy for the first time in the fourth, and then it was like a mishap of like coverages and where should the ball have been. That's my concern. Why are you only giving someone 2 targets per game and saying, yeah, make that do? And then one of the targets is one of the biggest plays of the game. That's my thing. If you're going to give someone targets in the moments where you need it most, it should be your go-to guys, correct, DG?
Correct.
87, 4, 10 need to be the guys getting the ball. So, like, at the end of the game, like, to have a whole quarter and, like, Trav not touch the ball is malpractice. That's
Yeah.
just unacceptable. I don't care what defense you're going against. I don't care what coordinator you're seeing. There's no way you go that long and not give 87 the football. Like, it's just the way this offense, like, and that's the thing we kind of keep saying weeks in, like 3 or 4 weeks into this thing, ever since the Philly game. Nobody's doing anything to stop this offense. It's us. Every mistake we make, it's us. It's not the defense giving us any confusing looks. They're not doing any exotic coverages. They're not stopping our run game. Guys are getting open. It's just we have a disruption of either not catching the ball or not being on the same page when we do throw the football. Those are self-inflicted mistakes. That's not nothing the defense is doing. The penalties could have been down, but overall, Wanya Morris, in my opinion, played a great game for Donovan Smith. I know
Yeah.
people were wondering where Dom was at, but he graded out pretty well for me. I think me and some of my friends that watched the tape, I think we only had maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Like overall, for me, I only gave him as far as like pass pro. I only have one missed block, but overall assignments, I think I only had him for like 4 misses. So
Yeah.
overall, I think Wanya had a great day for that being your first start, and you throw it in the middle of the game because I think Donovan only had like 20 snaps before he got pulled with the neck injury.
Yeah.
So
Donovan was out of here quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
so overall, Wanya played a great game. So as far as O line wise, we gave Pat time to make plays. It's just We were moving the ball, running the ball, being methodical down the field, like we've said for weeks. If that's the way this offense is going to work, DG, that's fine. Be methodical, be slow, have 8, 10, 12 play drives. If that's the way we're going to keep our offense on the field, that's the way we're doing. But at this point, bro, like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, to go a whole quarter and not give Travis Kelce the football, that you got to be trolling. Like, there's no way. Like, there's just like Rasheed Rice was not getting the ball in the second half as much as he should. Obviously, Pacheco left the game with the punch, which I thought was hilarious because the DB clearly was pushing him after the play already was clearly down the field, so there was no reason to push Pop, and he kept on egging him on. Now, Pop should have controlled his emotions. I'm not excusing him from that, but at the same time, it's just a play that the refs clearly didn't look at it. And the second person always gets caught. So Pop,
Yeah.
unfortunately, was the second person. So, but the offense, like, they do this week to week. They'll play well for 2 or 3 quarters, and then when it's a big situation in DG, a big third down, a big fourth down, where we gotta have it, we're not throwing the ball to our must-have-it guys. And that's the thing that's most frustrating to me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. This game kind of showed me that I kind of blamed it on the coaching staff, man. Like we just didn't seem prepared at all. Like it seemed like we went up there and we kind of just were sleepwalking, especially through that first quarter. Like, all right, and then like second quarter it kind of picked up, the tempo kind of picked up or whatever. Like we kind of finally woke up and was like, all right, let's play some ball or whatever. And then in just second half, we just went back to let's just do the same things we've been doing, for the past 11 weeks that have been killing us in games and stuff like that. But yeah, the penalties, man, it's the little things, man, the little minor details that this team isn't doing at this point in time that's losing them games. And previously I feel like previous teams we could overcome that just because of how explosive we were offensively. It's just not that team no more.
Can't do
Like
that right now.
yeah, you like I've been telling people all week. The Chiefs are a team now. They have to, especially offensively, they have to be on script. They
Clean
can't.
game.
Yeah, they can't. They can't. And I'm not saying you can't play off of script
Yeah,
or whatever. Like you can't never do that, but you can't consistently do that like you used to be able to. You used to be able to. Man, 3rd and 18, 3rd and 15, you wasn't even worried about those downs because
because
you
we could
knew,
get it.
yeah, you knew you could go and get it. Now you're just not in those positions no more to convert those third and longs and stuff like so penalties and you getting behind the chains and stuff like you just can't do that. Like you can't
Can't
have,
do
especially in the red zone, you can't have
it. Facts.
that. Like I don't know how many. I know Creed had the one penalty I think on the second drive.
Man, DG, he had him hemmed up, bro, like
Yeah,
this. How is this holding? I don't
and,
get it. Like,
and that's gonna lead that leads me to another point. I'm definitely
man,
not a blame the refs type of guy, but that
for sure,
game
for
the
sure,
the
for sure.
refs got involved way too much.
Way too much, bro.
And then when you needed them to get involved, they didn't.
Now you
You
don't
know,
want to pull your flag. You've been
like
throwing your flags all
like
day. Now you don't want to
right,
throw it.
like
Come
and
on, bro.
that's my thing is like I don't care about the calls or whatever. Like if you're gonna make a call, but like you
Yeah,
keep it
facts.
consistent.
Exactly.
Like
Keep that energy
if
for
you're
sure.
gonna call that the late hit on the sideline, then call the pass interference. It's not that hard. But at the end of the day, I understand they want the players to determine the game, stuff like that. But that when it's clear and blatant like that, man, like come on, dog. Like
There's always missed calls, like you said. You don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, they're missing calls. Calls are missed. It's part of the game, so I'm never complaining about that. But the obvious ones where it's like even the other team is like, yeah, that's obvious. Like those are the ones that all fans, even if you're not a fan of either team playing, those are the calls you hate to see missed for sure. But overall, should we have been in that position? Obviously not. We should have
no,
played better before at
yeah,
that point.
yeah,
But just speaking on it from an unbiased standpoint, there were a lot of blatantly missed calls in that
yeah,
game. Being
and
the biggest one, being
it was
MVS.
both sides too, because
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
thought
But it
the
wasn't just us. There were a lot of missed calls for
I
sure.
thought the late hit on Pat was bad, bro. Like he was still
Like
in
it was like
bounds.
it was bang bang. Like he's stepping
Yeah,
out and he running. Like you could have let that ride.
right.
I
You could
wasn't I
let
wasn't tripping on that one for real. Yeah.
right. At first, I was a little bit upset because I was like, "That's a late hit," and then when they showed the replay, I was like, "Oh, he was still in bounds. Like
It's bang
that's a
bang. Yeah, they
bad
was both
call, you
running.
know."
Then they running toward the first down marker. So you can't expect anyone that's like running toward the first down marker to let up. Like that's the whole point. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't get it, so that
Yeah.
one little inch can be, somebody may drop the ball or something or whatever. So that's why you run hard. But the MVS one is like, bro, The funny thing about that one, DG, like the one you're talking about, is bang bang. So it's like it's debatable. Like they're running. Like what angle did you see him? Did you see Pat step out? Was he
Mm-hmm.
not stepped out? Was the defender already committed? That's the one that's debatable. The MVS one, the ball was in the air for like 2 hours.
It's
Everybody and their mama
blatant.
saw the
He's
ball.
on his back. I'm
Clear.
like, how
Had
more
him hemmed up, DG, all on his neck. Everybody saw that. And
like
everybody on my phone was like, bro, that's a flag. I'm like, I know. Like, I was waiting for it because I thought it was going to be late. Like, all right, they're about to think about it. And eventually
so
they're going to throw it. And then they never did.
they asked MVS after the game. Like I remember Aaron Ladd. I shout out to Aaron Ladd, man.
Shout out Aaron, bro.
Being in the locker room, and he asked him like, what or whatever, and that cut out.
Oh, yeah, you back.
Okay. He asked him, what'd you see? He's like, I don't know. I was on the ground. Like, which was true because
what'd you see? I was on the ground.
I was on the ground. I tried to make the catch. I couldn't make the catch. I'm on the ground, or whatever. So
That's ironic. That's ironic as fuck, bro. The dude we've been complaining the most about drops had the one obvious call that should have went his way, and he doesn't get it in the stadium he played his entire career in. You can't write that. That's funny, bro. That's funny as hell.
I seen some people saying like, oh, well, MVS could have sold it a little bit more. And I'm like,
so what? He had him hemmed up. So what?
Sold it back. What more
bro,
could
the
he
ball
have
was
done?
in the air for like 30 minutes. Everybody and their mama saw that was a play. Everybody's looking at the ball. So you can't say, oh, I didn't see it. We're all like this. Everybody's watching the ball in the air. We're all watching it. So you know where the ball's going. And all the line judge, the back line judge, the backer judge, all of y'all are looking when the ball go up. So I know all y'all saw this, and nobody threw a flag. That's hilarious to me. That was funny. But it is what it is. We move on, bro.
Yeah. So either way,
that's karma. That is karma though for not catching the ball. That is
right. Either way, you don't want to be in that position.
Absolutely.
You got to make enough plays in order for you to win the game, and we just didn't do that, especially offensively.
Sure.
With some of these, let's talk about the play calling for a little bit, because I feel like it was stagnant. Like it was kind of, I don't know. Maybe it was inconsistent to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'd run, and get a rhythm, and like always get Pop in a rhythm, and then you go to Rashid, and then like they snatch him out the game after he does something good. Then they go with a different personnel or whatever. What are you seeing play calling wise that you feel like Andy and them can change at this point in time?
They have changed the way their aggressiveness on short yardage. That's one thing I am proud of. When it comes down to short yardage, we've stayed and been able to be in 11 personnel and run the football, which dictates coverage to the offense, because you don't want to be an offense that has to be in heavy personnel, DG, to run the football. So we've shown whether we're at 4 receivers out there, 1 tight end, 1 back, and 10 or 11 personnel, we can still run the football at a high level. And then obviously when we get into our heavy sets and obvious have to have the situations, we can do that too. So I am proud of this coaching staff for believing in its O-line, which we've known about them all year since last year. This is one of the better run blocker O-lines in the league. Obviously, one of the more talented overall offensive lines. And this guard-to-guard combo with Creed, Joe, and Trey is arguably the best run blocking unit in the league, in my opinion. So when it's short yardage, we know what these guys can do, and then you give it to Pacheco, one of the most physical guys in the league. So they have changed their mindset on short yardage, and I've seen that trend the last 3 to 4 weeks since the bye. So I am proud about that. Offensively, pass catcher-wise, it's kind of like the same issue. You figured out what worked last week with your three main guys. Giving it to Rice, giving it to obviously Trav, and then you sprinkle in other guys like maybe here and there you throw a ball to MVS or Justin Watson. But the main 2 guys, and they showed it in the Raiders week, the 2 guys that should be getting 15 targets together between the 2 of them should be Rashid and Trav every week. Those 2 guys need 15 targets. I don't care how you get them. I don't care if it's 10-5, 8-7, whatever you want to do. Those 2 guys need to have the bulk of our targets every week. That's how I feel the match should be going every week when we're looking at the target share. That's who should be touching the ball. So to not like go that when you're going multiple drives and you've noticed your best player's not touching the ball, that's malpractice on Andy and Nagy. To me, in my opinion, you're watching the same plays. You're like, hey, why isn't our best players getting the football? I know they're probably trying to double cover them or bracket them. You have to dictate coverage and produce plays for your best players. Whether it be you're giving a lot of screens to Rashid, he can do those things. If you want to dictate more of those, I just feel like there's more ways to get them the football to where we shouldn't be going drives without 87 touching the ball. That should never happen. I don't care if you want to give him a dig, a crossing route, put him in motion to where he's driving to with them. DG, one play that I wish we ran more, and we did this a lot when Tyreek was here, which I don't know why we don't do it more now. we would be in trips, right? So you got 3 receivers to one side, one to the left. So you got 4 receivers. Or you want to have one tight end. You have the 2 outside receivers in that trip side, two of the
Mm-hmm.
outside. They go down the field and block, but you can't block until the ball's thrown. So
Mm-hmm.
the inside receiver runs a flat. They throw him the ball quickly so the 2 outside receivers can go block, and then he just catches it and gets like a little 5 or 6 yards. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like an extended handoff, basically.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
a substitute for a run play. We rarely do. We give a lot of bubble screens to Rasheed,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice for me. But I like the fact when we involve those, how come we don't throw fakes off of those bubble screens? Because if that's
Yeah.
going to be one of your main, like Rasheed gets a lot of those short plays where we do like bubbles, like you get a quick flat, whatever the case may be. Those plays work for him because he's great at yard at run after catch. I think he's top 5 in yards after catch. Rasheed's very good at that. So if you're going to do those things with a stable for him, that can be a play where you work off of that. So now we're
Right.
running so many bubbles, running so many flat routes. Then you can run a flat like an out and up. Then you can run a bubble where the outside receiver acts like he's blocking. Then he goes run downfield. There's
Yeah.
ways to run actions off of that, and I know they have this because I've seen them do it at times. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't think they do it enough this year. And me telling Chiefs fans, hey, the plays that I know they should be running, that actions that'll get guys open based off the plays that work well. I know the coaching staff knows what works and what doesn't work. It's just like it's the old notion of like I really think they're just saving this stuff until it's like a must-have game. Because overall, did we lose Sunday? Yes, and nobody wanted to see us lose to the Packers. Silver lining, it is an NFC opponent, DG.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars lost on Monday, which I did not see coming. I picked them to win that game.
Nah, I didn't.
So technically, we literally went from 3 to 4 back to 3. So
Mm-hmm.
we're at right now. And if
Mm-hmm.
like obviously if we all finished with the season, if we winning out, the obviously the Ravens and the Dolphins, we would hold the tiebreaker over both of those teams at
Mm-hmm.
this moment in time. So handling our business and winning out, just like it was before the Packers game, has now been put on schedule after the Jaguars lost. So everything we want is still in front of us as far as getting that one seed, as far as getting home field advantage. Every opportunity is in front of us. Now, will this offense continue to do the things they're doing or actually use the guys that are effective in this offense and do the plays off of the actions that are work like DG? And I don't want to go on another rant, but play action
Go.
in the
Go
shotgun,
ahead.
DG, is the worst play in football history. Stop play actioning. And when I mean shotgun, I mean when Pat's in the gun people and like the quarterback's next to him and he's like wide 80 and he takes a snap and he like fakes it and then he decides to make a decision with it. That does nothing to a defense. They see the ball, so they see where you're actioning to. It literally does nothing. You know what play action does work, DG? When you're under center and you ran the ball 3 or 4 times, and then the next time you do it, you stick the ball in the back of that running back, and the defense can't see where the ball's at because my head's to the defense. So then they turn
Yeah.
around, they don't know where the ball's at, just like you. So you have to dissect the defense, but they're at a disadvantage because they're like, did he hand it off or did he pull it? And you can do so many fakes. You can do an open hand fake. You can do a ball fake. There's so many options you can do. But play actioning from under center is 100% more effective on a defense than play actioning from the shotgun. I hate that play. I wish they stopped doing it. But when they eventually get into play action from under center, we won't have these issues, and then we'll be able to move forward amicably. So
Yeah.
hopefully Andy can hear my rant, see it. I know he watches the film too because I've seen him do it, especially in the Jaguar game. We did it a lot. But just get under center, continue to get Pop the ball, and play action off of Pop's action because the
Yeah.
defense has to respect them. That's going to help your pass catchers too because everyone's going to get open. They have to
Mm-hmm.
suck down. You're going to get one-on-ones. You're going to get single high safeties, and guys are going to be running across the field on those crossers. But when you play
Mm-hmm.
action from the gun, we don't have it a good enough receiver to just play shotgun the entire time, DG. We just don't. So you help your offense get under center, continue to run the football, and play action out of that by using Travis Kelce, using Noah Gray. That's
Yeah.
going to help your offense be so much more explosive and
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, man, the play calling it was like it was polar opposite from this game to the Raiders game.
Facts.
I feel like in the Raiders game we ran a lot more mesh concepts, a lot more drags across the middle of the field, trying to get Rasheed, getting guys open over the middle of the field, using Rasheed's speed and his ability to get yak up the field. And this game, it just felt like we just was like, nah, we gonna go away from the screen game. We're gonna go away from using mesh. We're gonna go away from all that. We're gonna go back to these long developing option.
Pat hold the ball.
Pop hold the ball. Like, yeah, it's just RPOs. And it's just like, bro, it was just a mess. Like, for me, I I was watching the game kind of knowing like, and this rarely ever happens to me while I'm watching the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie to you. 14-6, I was like, we probably gonna lose this game. This is the way the game flow was going, and the way that I seen the coaching staff kind of calling the game. I was like, yeah, they just don't look like they want any part of this game tonight. And you could clearly tell from the Packers side of the point of it, like they wanted it. The play calling was a lot more aggressive on their side. You've seen a lot more. You've seen them doing a lot more things that they hadn't done, previously or whatever. So, yeah, man, it just it felt like the philosophy just changed. What I did like was the emphasis to keep running the football and using Pop. Pop, I feel like got really tough yards. And in the offensive line, I mean, they were mauling guys
They
up
were
front.
dominant.
Yeah, they were dominant up front in the run game.
He averaged 6 yards to carry. He was
That
dominant. I think
see, and
6.4 to be exact at one point.
that's what I'm saying is that
Dominant.
when I keep going back to my point about identity, I think the Chiefs need to just realize at this point, they just need to be a physical team.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And there's
like,
nothing wrong with that. Win.
Right. Just go into the games with the mindset of we're gonna kick this team's ass, and beat them up, and we're gonna run them up, and then when the fourth quarter comes, people aren't gonna want to tackle Pop, and I
really
feel
don't
like
wear them down.
I look, man, late in that game, bro, it got to a point where the Packers wanted no parts in having to tackle
They
Pop.
don't want no smoke with him, bro. Yeah. Pop really don't want, bro.
Right. He drug him for like 7 yards at one
angry
play.
Run champ. Kyle Brent, stop being a hater. Give my daughter an angry run spear, whatever that is. Stop being a hater.
So to me, seeing that, I that was one of them games like I might have just said F it and just gave Pop the ball 30 times.
That's what I'm saying, DJ.
And I feel like that the Andy just has this I don't know. He just has this
gut. It's in his
gut.
Like I gotta do it this way.
Can't do it.
Like bro, no.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't always want to go back to always, to the Patriots and stuff and how they used to play, but like these are those times where Belichick as a coach would just decide like, man, we're gonna run the ball
and you
until
can't
stop it. Yeah.
Exactly. It'd be ugly, but we gonna move this ball.
Right.
Like, bro, it don't matter how it look. I think we want it to look a certain way. And I hate that too, DG. Like I wish we would just commit to giving Pop the ball. Obviously, we want Jared McKinnon to be out there, and I think he practiced today in limited capacity, so I expect him to play this week versus the Bills on Sunday. So having our full and as much as flack we've given Clyde over the years, Clyde's played well in the limited snaps he's gotten the last 2 weeks. He's ran hard, he's fell forward, he's gotten first down. He almost scored a touchdown.
Protected the ball.
So protected the ball, no fumbles. He's hitting the holes, no stutter stepping. Obviously, he's not the most explosive guy, but for being an RB2 the last 2 weeks, he's done his job. Now, obviously, when we get Jet McKinnon back and we have our full rotation of running backs, this offense will be better because you have all the types of running backs you want. You have your power guy, your overall guy in Clyde, and you have your third down specialist in Jet. Those are your 3 guys. So, and I've said this since the beginning of the season, the best group on offense was going to be the running backs just because I feel like they have any kind of guy you want. You have versatility, you have power, you have speed, guys who can catch. Jet's great in pass pro on third down. That's the group that's going to carry this offense at least from a playmaker standpoint to the playoffs. And then you'll have your sprinkles with Trav. Obviously, then your receivers will come in and do their part. But the running backs can help us win games, like you said. And obviously, when we get Jet back, I think we'll have that full complement to where we can lean on those guys more, like you said. Pacheco needs, in my opinion, 20 touches a game. I don't care how you get them, whether it be 15 and 5, maybe 17. He needs to be touching the ball close to 20 times a game. And then you give, obviously, Jet McKinnon his touches. Clyde can come in and spare him for breaks. But running the football, getting under center, give you much more action on offense. It dictates what you want to do, and your O-line gets in more of a rhythm. So when they do want to play action, DJ, you can play action off a run fake, right? So your O-line is great run blocking. So they're going downhill for 4 or 5 plays. You do that, and then once you play action off of that, now the defense doesn't know, they've been run blocking the whole day, because you can have tells when you're in pass pro, are they setting? He's not going to be coming off the ball and firing off. When you're constantly firing off and you're firing off during play action plays, now the defense doesn't know how to tell. They don't know, is this a run fake? Is it a play action fake? Are they actually just dropping back passing? There's so much more action that you can do. So I hope that, and I know Andy sees it because I slowly see the vision of what he's doing, but if we just get under center and truly commit to using our running back through this offense and sprinkle in our pass catchers, that's how this offense is going to get the full potential and give us the best chance to win. Because on our best day, if this offense operates in the way they're supposed to, we know they can still beat anybody in the AFC and in the NFC, in my opinion.
I'm getting to some comments here. What up, Pops?
Times 2, Pop, for real, respectfully.
Yeah. I kind of get the sense also that
Thank you, Pop. That's what I'm saying.
that we've been really missing Jared McKinnon in the red
Mm-hmm.
zone a lot. His ability to get open in the
Right.
receiving game. I kind of feel like that's something that Pat has kind of been missing because uh, Jet's just so good at doing what he does and being
Mm-hmm.
being a veteran, being in the right place. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel like he's kind of better at playing off script with Pat when Pat needs somebody,
Stay in his
this
vision.
is
Yep.
the same way
Mm-hmm.
that Trav and him have that kind of connection. I feel like that him and Jet McKinnon kind of have that connection as well, where he can,
Mm-hmm.
Jet kind of understands zone, can find the open spot, and sit in. And so I feel like they've been kind of missing that as well
Mm-hmm.
too. And I feel like that's kind of really affected Pat as well too. Let's get to the controversial play, the interception, man.
Which one?
The
Oh, I thought you were talking about that one.
the interception, 1st and 10, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're driving down the field. I think you're down 2 at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and you turn the ball over, man. And
That
a lot
one
of
turn.
people, had some criticism for Sky Moore,
Mm-hmm.
and him and the way he ran his route. And I've been the kind of one that clamoring for a while. I understand that argument, but at the same time, I feel like it was a horrible decision by 15
Mm-hmm.
to even try to throw that play. I feel like it was a horrible play call on 1st and 10. To be honest, like I don't understand why you're throwing a fade on first.
The
Like
notion they're trying to get a rub action, so
yeah,
they're trying to get the inside slot receiver to get leverage on that slot corner.
yeah,
So I get the concept. Would I have ran it on first downs? Probably not. I don't hate the play, DG. I
mm-hmm,
hate the execution of the play. Pat
yeah,
predetermined that throw. Like I
mm-hmm,
get what everybody's saying. Oh, he should go attack the ball. He should do that. And you're probably right. But at the
mm-hmm,
end of the day, that play when you run a rub action, it's designed to read that DB.
yeah,
So when Sky's in the slot, the outside receiver is supposed to pick off whoever the
yeah,
defender who guarding Sky is. And that
mm-hmm,
defender has two choices. He can either go over the top and bubble, or he can try to fight underneath and try to make a play and try to run after the catch the receiver. Any DB coach will tell you, hey, run over the top. So if you
mm-hmm,
do get beat, okay, you're in front of you keep the receiver in front of you, keep the
yeah,
ball in between you and the receiver, so you can still make a play on the ball. Whether it be thrown short, rally up and tackle, if it's thrown deep, go make a play on the ball. He anticipated that play, Jesse Owens. He knew they were
mm-hmm.
going to try to run a rub action. He saw the outside receiver cracking in,
It
so
was
he bubbled over the
Keyshawn
top.
Nixon,
Yeah. Nick.
Nixon.
Oh, sorry, Nixon.
Mm-hmm,
He made a great play on the ball, so he knew what was coming. And he said in his
mm-hmm.
interview, "I knew the tail they ran this play a lot, so I was prepared for it." And that's
Yeah,
film study. So you clap it up. He made a great play. Defensive players get
mm-hmm.
paid too. But
Yeah,
my thing is like Pat, you threw that ball as if like you knew the DB wasn't going to be there,
be
and
there.
he knew
Yeah,
what play you were going to run. So
yeah,
that's the type of play. It's meant to be a read.
mm-hmm,
Like, and I know most people have had their conversations. I talked to my receivers coach, DG, because we
mm-hmm,
ran that play a lot when I was in college. When
mm-hmm,
we run that play, you read the DB. If he goes over the top, I'm immediately throwing the back shoulder because
mm-hmm.
the distance between him getting over the top of two people,
Yeah,
the other corner and the receiver, he has to
yeah,
go through those two to come
yeah,
back to Sky. That's too much distance. He can't get
yeah.
there. If you
Right,
throw it over the top, he can run to the sideline and make a
mm-hmm,
play on the ball because it's in the air. So he has a
right,
chance to make a play. Pat threw that ball, in my opinion, like
mm-hmm,
he thought the DB was going to go under. That he
yeah,
didn't think he was going to go over the top, and he
right.
went over the top, and now it's a one-on-one jump ball situation. I love Sky Moore,
Mm-hmm.
but Sky Moore's not a jump ball receiver. I'm not throwing a jump ball receiver to
No,
Sky. I would never
no,
do that.
right.
That's why when he came off the ball, he stuttered, and then he looked back for the ball. He's like, oh, he's running around these two. He can't get through those two to come to me. The ball should be right here. That's what he was waiting
So,
on.
so in Sky's defense, Sky actually did the right thing,
He's looking for
which
the ball quickly because he can't
right.
come to me through two
So
people. He just can't.
and I want people to understand he read the leverage correctly, right?
You go outside, I
You go
stop and
out
look quick.
right, and he's anticipating a back shoulder throw,
Yeah.
and Pat lobs it like
Because
a like
Pat predetermined, like, oh, so Pat basically in his mind, and I don't know what the
hey,
conversation was, because he threw that ball DG like, oh, no matter what happens, I'm throwing it over there.
that was a
And that's cool.
that was a Chris Paul, Blake
Said,
Griffin alley oop.
yeah. But see, DG, if that was Pat's mindset, and I don't mind him making that throw, I don't mind him making that decision. That's not a throw that you make with Sky Moore in the slot. That should be a Rasheed Rice ball, in my opinion. If that was the play design truly, so regardless of the coverage, regardless of what the DB does, I'm throwing this ball over to the sideline. If that truly was the play, then you should have thrown
Mhm.
that to one of your bigger receivers, not Sky Moore, who's 5'10". I'm just
Yeah,
not doing that. That's never been his game, his MO. And that's been the notion I've said with Sky Moore all year. We're using him incorrectly.
yeah,
I'm not throwing a jump ball receiver to Sky Moore. That throw should
yes,
be for Rasheed Rice. If anybody,
yeah.
maybe, if you want to be picky, you could say it's
Mhm.
Justin Watson because he can make jump balls that catches at times. But that play should have not have been designed for Sky Moore. That's just not his
Yeah,
type of play. So, like, if you want to sit there and argue like he's that Pat threw the ball and then he could have made a play on it, he probably could have fought for it more. But Sky already had committed to the back shoulder because he slowed down because he saw the DB coming over the top. Pat caught the ball, literally was 1-2, rocker step, let it go, ball's out. So
yeah,
you threw it almost like a jump ball fade. And if that's the notion was, you're not throwing a jump ball fade to Sky Moore ever.
no,
Because that's
no,
basically what the ball was. It was not a go ball straight to you. It was not like a ball with a zip. It was a jump ball fade. Hey, go make a play on this ball. Either you
Mhm.
catch it or nobody catches it. I'm
Yeah,
not throwing that type of ball to Sky Moore. And I think
no,
most people on the team would know, even say that's not his strength. So
Mhm.
if you are gonna make that decision, why isn't Rasheed Rice in that position? Justin Watson in that position? You feel me?
Yes,
So it's
yes,
just, to me, it was bad execution of the play, bad personnel of the play, in my opinion, more so than like obviously everybody has to own up to their mistakes, whether it be
Mhm.
Sky Moore, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Everybody in this offense has made mistakes. So like DG said, nobody's above criticism, bro. It doesn't
No,
matter if you said Pat messed up. He's
right,
messed up plenty of times. He'll tell you that. So why does
yeah,
it matter that we say he messed up more than him himself?
yeah,
So
and that's my thing. Like I know people on Twitter are probably gonna call me the Sky Moore defender and da da da.
I'm just reading the
But
play, bro. That's what happened. Like
but my whole part about it is like I understand that we want to see this kid make plays and want to
yeah,
see him do well and
for
things of that
sure.
nature. We have big expectations or whatever, you know. And that play showed me that, especially going back and looking at the clip of the film and stuff like that, that
Mm-hmm.
Sky Moore is actually picking up on things in this league. Even though this is, and I keep having to say this, guys, he's 23 years old, man.
He is
This is
young.
his second year in the league. It literally takes some guys time. Look, and I'll give you an example. Look at Jordan Love on the other side of the football.
Facts.
You know, that kid struggled
A
through
lot.
through a lot.
He said
Not only having to back up Rogers for some
he sat
long,
3 years for a reason.
right, but then on top of that, this coming into this year in the month of October, he was terrible. You know,
Awful.
like
Facts.
but
Awful.
but but now you're seeing with time, with experience, with
Reps,
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 yeah,
reps, reps.
with reps, he's his game has grown, and now the last 2 weeks he didn't torched us and the Lions. You
Cooked.
know, like
Facts.
3 touchdowns, I think, on us. What was it, 3 or 4 on
I think
Thanksgiving?
three. I
You
think he do
know,
three versus the Lions. Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm saying is like I understand you have big expectations for certain
Mm-hmm.
guys and things of that nature, and I'm not telling people not to have them, but at the same time, you gotta give guys more time than just 2 years to develop in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys I understand they hit the league and
They
and
tear
a
it
lot
up.
of yeah, and a lot of those
Yeah.
guys are just generational talent. Patrick Mahomes is just a generational talent. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, those guys are freaks of nature. Like they come in the league and everything's already kind of easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
And for some guys, it does take time for
Yeah.
them to learn this game, learn it at this speed and pick up on things as well. So what that play taught me, especially going back and look at the film, is Sky did the right thing. He
He's reading
anticipated
a DB. Yeah.
the right thing or whatever, looking for the back shoulder throw. Pat didn't make that or whatever, and more credit to Keyshawn Nixon for getting in his bag and getting in that film room and realizing he even picked up on the signal, man.
He did.
He
He
said
saw
he
the
went.
tap.
Yeah, he said he tapped his knee. He went to
He
his
saw the
knee, and as
tap.
soon as I seen that, I
I
already
know what
knew
he's doing.
what he was about to do. So
Yeah.
it just goes to show you that how much opponents are locking in on our film when they're facing the Chiefs or whatever.
Details
They're
matter.
pick yeah, they know they got it, and that's what beats us. They know that the little things beat us, the little details beat us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
that's going, and that's my philosophy for our side of it is that we got to be able to do those little things again to win these games. If you're not going to
Absolutely.
do them, you're going to keep you're gonna keep messing up. You're gonna keep losing games like you are. You know.
You got
So
to figure out ways to get over those humps, man. Because, like you
yeah.
said, DG, we're putting the thing that gives me confidence. We're putting ourselves in positions to win games, DG, and then we're just not finishing. It's one thing to have some offenses across the league, DG. They're not even getting across the 50 or even getting into the red zone to even give themselves a chance to score. That's never
Mm-hmm.
been our problem moving the ball. It's like a broken record.
No.
We move the ball, we score points when we need to, and then when it's the
Mm-hmm.
end of game and gotta have it situations, that's when we fall on our face. So
Yeah.
like it's just, and that's just little execution. There was another play, DG, that me and you talked about. It was actually, I forgot what quarter or down it was. It was in the red zone. I think it was before to halftime, actually. Pop Pacheco's in the game. We go to an empty set, so like 5 receivers and nobody in the backfield. Pacheco runs a rub into the flat, and he's open for a slight second. And I wish we had our edit so we could actually show the clip. But I'll post it on my timeline if y'all want to see it. So follow me, and I'll post it on my timeline. There's a play where Pacheco's going into the flat. He's open for like the smallest of seconds, and I know it's very minimal. So it's like it looks like as if the DB has a leverage on Pacheco, and there's no way he can make the play. But if Pat throws that ball earlier and gets it to him, he can make a play on the ball. He catches it, possibly breaks the tackle and gets it for a first down. So I'll show the clip on my timeline so everybody can see it. But there's obviously in this offense, we have guys that make plays in short yardages, and we have our guys who make plays down the field. So in this moment in time, we know our deep ball receivers, unfortunately, are MVS and Justin Watson. Those are the guys we throw the ball down the field to. And then obviously when it's like short to intermediate, it's Rasheed, it's Sky Moore, it's KT, and obviously when Richie James got involved, so it was good to see him get on the field and be consistently available. But overall, this offense has done their thing to move the ball. We've been top 5, top 10, variating as far as yardage. We've been moving the ball in between the 20s all year. It's scoring in the red zone has been our problem. And I know I hate people to keep saying like a broken record and saying over and over again. If we fix these one little mistakes, getting the ball out of your hand, DG, when instead of holding on to it too long. I know Pat
Mm-hmm.
likes to create, and I'm never telling Pat to not be an improviser and do that. But that one play, DG, I think I showed it to you in our chat where Pacheco's open in the flat. If he gets rid of that ball immediately, he has
Yeah.
a chance to make that play.
Yeah.
And I
You
know
gotta give
like
him.
Pat,
You gotta give him a chance,
and he
especially
held on
one
to
on
it.
one.
Exactly. And I know it's like it's a small window. So people say he's not open. I'm like, yeah, but that's all you need. Just that one little window. If you throw that ball before Pop even turns his head around, the ball should already be on him. So all he
Mm-hmm.
has to do is catch the ball, get his head around,
And
and if
break
Pacheco's in the open field, one
one
tackle.
tackle.
Just
It
one tackle.
ain't.
I'm
I would love to see somebody in open field try to tackle
I'm taking Pacheco every time. I don't care
him.
who it is, one-on-one open field, especially if it's a
Mm-hmm.
DB. I'm taking Pop every day. So those
Mm-hmm.
little things, when you have an offense that you don't have that much talent at receiver, hell, even the teams with talented receiver, DG, you have to make throws in those tiny windows because that's just
Mm-hmm.
the NFL. Guys are good. Guys in the
Yeah.
league aren't really necessarily getting dumb. They aren't getting wide open in the red zone. There's
Yeah.
small windows that you have to hit. Whether you have a Justin Jefferson, a AJ Brown, a CD Lamb, or if you
Mm-hmm.
have a Sky Moore or a Kadarius Toney or a Rasheed Rice, you
Mm-hmm.
have to make throws when they're there to be made and
Yeah.
make and be confident in those decisions. And those are the things that we're seeing this offense. They're making throws at times and they're not making throws at times. So they have to eventually get to those 3 guys that we know who work, give
Right.
those 3 guys the football, and then let the other guys come in when they need spells and when they need breaks. But we
Yeah.
know which guys need to touch the football at the end of games. It's 4, it's 10, and 87. Just
Mm-hmm.
get those guys the football, and then we won't have any issues going forward.
Yeah. Let's switch to the different side of the ball. Let's go to the defense. Um,
Spags.
right. In your opinion, what did you see from the defense? What was your initial thoughts on them? How did they look to you?
AJ Dillon was way more effective than I expected. Well, not much more than I expected because obviously we're still the value of Nick Bolton has shown the last 3 weeks. And there's obviously some, how should I put this, DG? Trying to be nice about it. There's some very passionate people in the kingdom who are Nick Bolton supporters, and some of them are not Nick Bolton supporters. So I think his value for this team and for this defense, specifically to this topic, have shown the last 3 weeks. We are a good defense. We're one of the best defenses in the league. I think we've proven that through the first, 13 weeks now. And we've
Mm-hmm.
proven that through multiple offenses at home, on the road, overseas, doesn't matter. This defense can travel and play ball with anybody, anywhere. And I'll take them against anybody. And that gives me the most confidence of why I think we can still make a run because I believe in us getting stops.
Mm-hmm.
This defense obviously had a hit with some injuries, and injuries are going to happen. It's a long season.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Brian Cook's not out for the year, so hopefully he can come back first round of playoffs, maybe end of season, because they looked bad at first. So thank
Bro,
God that it didn't go
I'm
that
not.
bad. So
Look, I don't know what Brian Cook's ankles are made of,
vibranium,
but
Wakanda forever.
buddy, um, Yeah,
Whatever,
I need to figure out what lab you was made in,
whatever,
because
whatever exercises you doing, keep doing them. They working because boy, I
that
thought his
looked
joint was gone.
that was that if I don't know if everybody's seen
The
the
picture,
picture or
boy,
whatever, but man, if you've seen it, you would think he'd be gone for the year. Like, seriously,
it
for
look ugly.
him
I ain't gonna lie.
for him to only come out of that game with a sprain, you got me, because that looked bad. That looked like he needed to be rushed to the hospital immediately.
No facts.
Um,
I thought it was a clean break, and now that's why. And the reason I wasn't as like, and I was watching the game with Chuck. We was at the bar watching it. I wasn't as concerned when I saw him get on the cart and there was no air cast. Because usually when it's a clean break, they immediately put an air cast on it to try to like support it to not from breaking any more damage. But there was nothing on it. He just sat there, and so obviously like he's in hurt, he's in pain, and it's gruesome injury. I'm never trying to like downplay it, but he didn't
mhm,
have an air cast on it, so that gave me pause to like say maybe it's not a break, maybe it's just a really bad sprain. But coming from the picture, it didn't look like that. So all glory to God. Thankfully, Brian Cook's okay. Glad he's able to still have a chance to play this
yeah,
season. But regardless, we're just happy for his health. Before any football decisions, we want to see our guys on the field and be healthy off the field more so than on the field as well. But from a defensive standpoint, AJ Dillon ran the ball very effectively. And like I
mhm,
said, that's partially to not Nick Bolton being there. And obviously,
mhm,
Drew Tranquil, your best linebacker, leaving the game literally what, the fourth, fifth play of the game with a concussion. And
yeah,
it's kind of ironic because remember that AFC Championship game last year versus the Bengals?
mhm,
Samaje Perine did the same thing. His knee hit Snead in the head. He got a concussion, knocked him out
mhm,
the game. Same
yeah,
type of play. AJ Dillon's running the ball. His knee hits Drew in the head, concussion, out for the rest of the game. So
mhm,
it's kind of funny that that's how that happened. But
yeah,
overall, the defense gave up some plays, and at the end of the day, you got to like tip your cap to some guys. Like I think Pop said it. Like Christian Watson made an amazing catch. That's just Christian Watson being Christian Watson. I know a lot of people don't know his name. He's a
yeah,
very talented receiver, a guy that was taken high for a reason.
mhm.
Um, they have some other kids that can make plays, like the Romeo Dobbs throw that Jordan Love made, where he was like falling off his back foot and just chucked it in the air. I think that was fourth down, and he just caught it. That's just like, bro, there's nothing you can do. Like, should we
Yeah.
have went in there and like could have Justin Reed have gotten his hand in the ball instead of carrying his hands and like got in between the ball? He could have made it, but overall, the Jordan Love
I
just
don't,
he made some Hail
yeah,
Mary throws. He just made them, bro. Like
I don't
that's
think they
just
were anticipating him to make that throw.
I
Like,
didn't
I
either. Cause like
really,
it looked like he just chucked it in the air. I'm like, oh, this
I
got to be
don't,
a pick.
I don't think Romeo Dobbs.
He really just chucked it in the air. I'm like, oh, this
Yeah,
is about to be an incomplete or be a pick.
a
And then it
pick.
just fell
Yeah,
into his hands. I'm like, wow. It's just like
yeah,
it fell. It literally fell out of the sky into his hand. Like I
yeah,
couldn't believe that, bro.
yeah.
So
I feel like, as far as defensively, the Packers offense, they were clicking, and they got some things to really kind of go their way. They made some big plays.
a couple third and shorts, some fourth and shorts.
Yeah,
They just made plays on. They got good receiver. They just made plays.
yeah. The second touchdown that Christian Watson had was, I
Josh is
mean,
right there. It's just
there's nothing you can do.
he's just
Like,
right.
yeah,
Like
it's
right
just,
over his fingertips.
you tip your hat to Jordan Love and Christian Watson. That's a hell of a throw, hell of a catch, hell of a
Hell of a
play.
thing. And that's what he does.
Um,
He's a jump ball receiver, so that's what he's supposed to do.
yeah, and
He's
like
good at it.
you just you don't see that very often. Like that's a
Mhm.
play that I know we probably won't see very often happen to us.
Yeah, like we don't give up big plays
I
like
was,
that often.
bro, I was not mad at Josh Williams at all. Like, it was
That's a
just
hell of a throw, a hell of a catch.
a
Like
catch, yeah.
Josh is 6'2".
Um,
He threw it over his hand. What do you expect him to
but
do?
I do feel like we were a little bit, how can I put it, in the run game. We were a little bit weak in the
Yeah,
run game.
they were popping us for sure. They were gas.
And I don't know if that just is something that kind of that we didn't expect them to do, because they haven't been. I know they haven't been running the ball very well
Mm-hmm.
over the course of this season. But you could clearly see they knew that was kind of a weakness for us
Mm-hmm.
or
Yep.
whatever, especially once Drew went down. But shout out to Jack Conklin. I feel like he came in, did his
He had
job,
a hell of a game. Shout out to
yeah,
Jack, bro. Hell of a game.
did what he needed to do. I know it wasn't perfect. I know it wasn't pretty. Um, and I know it wasn't easy for him to come into that
Wear the
spot,
green
and
dot, middle of a game,
yeah,
boy. That's
and then
tough. You
just
making
get
all the calls.
everybody lined up, and communication. Guys haven't been practicing with this guy, and that's a lot to put on a guy to just come in the game off the
Special teams
bench,
guys, that
yeah, and just tell him like, hey,
go run the
you're
defense.
the quarterback of the defense, like,
Facts.
and that leads me back to my point of you saying like missing Nick Bolton has really shown that this defense is different when 32 is not there.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Absolutely.
we've been saying that. We said that, once he got hurt, that it was gonna be, you always felt like this defense could stay even killed or whatever, but you knew it was gonna be rough without him.
It's
And I
different
thought
for sure.
I think a lot of people realize what Nick Bolton brings to our defense is more
Mm-hmm.
than just him making, a tackle for a loss or him shooting a gap or something like that. Like he's so instinctual at getting those guys lined up, getting the
Absolutely.
defensive line in the correct positions, the correct gaps, and everything like that. You can clearly see if you watch Chris Jones' interview today, his presser, he literally said, "I'm so glad to have my linebacker back because what he provides, the leadership,
It's a mental thing that people
the
just don't know.
intelligence, yeah, man.
Like
You can't
having your
survive
quarterback of your defense.
right without it. So to be able to have him back, I think it'll definitely turn some tide for
Absolutely.
our run defense or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then of course Drew will get out of concussion protocol. He'll pass through that, and
It's just
our
getting guys
prayers.
lined up. That's like half the battle. Like
Yeah, right.
before the snap, diagnosing like, hey, they're in 12 personnel, they're in 13. I know what plays they're going to run out of this formation, or what they could or could not do, what the snap count's going to be, down and distance. All the things you have to process as a quarterback, you do that as a middle linebacker on defense. And that's what
Right.
Nick Bolton does for us. So having a guy that can really call out the formation, call out the strength, what we're running, what we should be running, if there's a kill or a check with me,
Mm-hmm.
having somebody that can process all those things, and people make fun of him when he talks fast and his pressure. Like, why does he
Yeah.
talk so fast? That's literally what you have to do
Yeah.
when you're in the huddle. You have 30 seconds to hear what
Mm-hmm.
Spags is yelling at you in your ear, and then you get cut off. So once you
Yeah.
get cut off, you can't hear him anymore. So he
Yeah.
has to remember the call and then spit
Mm-hmm.
it out to y'all and then say it
Mm-hmm.
multiple times so you can get it. And
Yeah.
tell everybody their job, and tell you what the strength is, and tell you where
Yeah.
the back is, and tell you the down and distance.
Right.
A lot of things you have to do in less than 30 seconds. So to do
Make
those things, you have to be very intelligent. And that's what
yeah.
Nick Bolton brings to our defense. He's very, very instinctual, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I
Probably
think
one of
that's
the
the
smartest
reason
guys on
why.
the team for real. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reasons why he was drafted and why he's here. They saw that on film, they saw that on tape,
That
and
mental part is everything,
yeah
man.
they realized that that mental part for this defense means everything. Um, Trying to think of where else to go with the defense, man. Not really that many penalties on them.
Mm-mm.
This game felt like they kind of played a clean game. I do kind of feel like this may have been one of Legarius's bad games,
Yeah, overall.
sort of, kind of. But overall, I thought the corners played well,
Mm-hmm.
well enough for us to win. I do feel like the linebackers and the safeties kind of got picked on. Um, in the middle, especially you could tell Green Bay was really making an emphasis to get us in some coverages that we weren't very uncomfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Get some guys into coverage that we're very uncomfortable putting into coverage. Justin Reed, I feel like kind of got picked on a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, and then once Jack Conklin kind of came in the game, I felt like they kind of start targeting him and Leo a little bit more, knowing that those guys that may not be their strength per se.
Yeah.
Um, to be
And he
out
really
there.
had he had
So
those chunk plays that really killed us, like that 50-yard bomb to
mm-hmm.
start the game to Christian Watson. That was a chunk play.
Yeah.
Obviously, that the other chunk play to Romeo Dobbs down the field, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of the Hail Mary type. Those
Yeah.
two big plays combined it for almost 100 yards. So if you
Mm-hmm.
can get off the field or not let those two plays occur or happen or not be
Yeah.
successful, you give your defense a bigger chance to win. So
Yeah.
like you said, we haven't really given up too many big plays down the field like that all year. Unfortunately, it happened on Sunday
Mm-hmm.
in a stadium we haven't played in for a very long time. A lot of guys first time going up there. It was cold for sure. We used to playing in that, but when you start
Mm-hmm.
losing bodies, it's kind of like a snowball effect. Like, all right, you already lost Bolton, and Drew leaves the game, and
Yeah.
then we thought Willie had left the game, and then he came back, and then obviously Jack Conklin had to wear the green dots. So it was a lot of turnover
Yep.
in on that game, and guys were leaving. Justin Reed left the field for a couple plays, had to come back in. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of turnover on that defense, and like we held our own, obviously, because in the fourth quarter, DG, we got 3 stops. We had the
Mm-hmm.
ball 3 times as an offense to go win the game. We couldn't finish the game. It ended in obviously the turnover. We had to punt the ball, and then obviously we tried to go for it again, and we didn't get
Yeah.
it. So the defense did their job in the second half, even if
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the Raiders game for starting off slow, because
Yeah.
AJ Dillon was running the ball very effectively. He was getting first downs. I think
Mm-hmm.
they converted most of their third downs during the game, so
Yeah.
they were moving the ball at an efficient rate. Jordan Love was making good decisions, not
Mm-hmm.
really taking chances with the ball, giving his guys to make plays on jump balls, and they did. and they were very successful at it. But overall, I think our defense played well enough, given everything we had to deal with, to give our offense a chance to win the game. And they gave them
Yeah.
multiple chances in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter to win that game. We just didn't do
Yeah.
nothing with it. So
Yeah.
I can't really fault the defense too much. Like we've said all year, they've done their job. They've held their water this entire year, holding it down for us. The offense just has to figure out a way to put a 2, 3, 4 game stretch of being consistent before the playoffs start. And thankfully, we still have that chance with a lot of favorable matchups. We still play the Patriots this year. We still play the Chargers defense, the Raiders defense. So we have a lot of opportunities for this offense to improve and just be consistent, DG. You ain't got to be amazing. Just give me average, because I know this defense can be elite that can carry you to where you want to be.
Yeah. Let's get into that stretch run, man. We're in the back half of this season.
December football, baby.
December and January football is coming up. 5 games left. And now you got a home game coming back home facing against the probably what I would say was one of your rivals in the Bills. Very desperate team coming off the bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's gonna be a tough game. I'll be at the game this time around.
Me and DG outside, baby. Let's go.
I'll be out there. I'll be linking up with CJ at some point in time, on Sunday or whatever. So my first game of the year, I haven't been to one. The last game I've been to was the Giants on Monday night.
I remember that game Monday night. Yeah, Daniel Jones game.
I think we were 3-4 or something like that, or whatever. And I actually got free tickets for our boy because he didn't want to go.
Hey,
if you suck, they're the worst team in the league. I'm done. I'm done.
We lost 3 games. I'm done.
So I'm back now at a point where we were struggling or whatever. So I'll be at this one.
We back, baby.
Hopefully I can help us right the ship this time. But what do you see, man, from this Bills team coming in here? Like I said, very desperate and looking to fight for a playoff shot. What do you see out of them?
They're fighting for their lives, like you said. They're 6 losses in right now. So obviously, every game for them matters. So they're, like you said, fighting for their playoff lives. So they're going to come here desperate. Every time they play us like it's the Super Bowl because we have so much history. AFC Championship game, we beat them. Divisional round, 13 seconds, we've beaten them. So all of the big moments in the playoffs, we've come out on top over the Bills, and they've gotten us in the regular season. So when it counts, the trend is, they've gotten us in the regular season, we get them in the playoffs. So hopefully we can end that trend and flip it around so we can kind of end that whole regular season streak. But like you said, Josh Allen's been having a down year for his standards. Offensively, the Bills have been inconsistent at times on offense. Still a very talented group. You still got guys like James Cook, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. Dalton Kincaid's been a really, very good rookie for them this year. At tight end, he's very explosive. I wanted him in the draft. But they've been very turnover prone. Kind of has been Josh Allen's MO. I think he had a 7-8 week stretch of throwing an interception, which is very bad for any quarterback. I think he leads the league. And if he doesn't lead the league in total turnovers, he's probably top 3 or top 4 right now. I know it kind of changes between obviously him and Jalen was up there, and then Sam Howell, and obviously you got Tim Boyle and all those guys. But overall, Josh Allen's not having the best of years for his standards, but he's still a quarterback you have to respect because he can make a play at any given moment. He can make any throw, and he still has some of the weapons and some of the best in football. So by no means will this be a cupcake game. We still have to go out there and play our best football. But given the way our defense is playing right now, DG, and we're getting Nick Bolton back this week, I expect our defense to put out a great effort, get a couple turnovers this week, get Josh Allen the ball back. And then once we get the ball off of him, I expect our offense to please God. Just use your 3 best players and give them the football and let them win the game for you. Yeah. But from a defensive standpoint, I expect us to go in here and play ball. Because the last 2 matchups, DG, when we've seen the Bills, we had Rashad Fenton at corner, and we had Charvarius Ward at some point.
Mike Hughes,
our corner. When we played the Bills in years past, Chiefs Kingdom, we've had some bad corners. Going against Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, I was very scared to death in years past. But now with this DB group and this D line, I'm not worried at all because I've seen this group go up against the best of the best. And like DG said, they're coming off a pretty underwhelming performance from a DB overall standpoint defense. So I expect them to be focused, be locked in. We know every game is big. Every game matters down to this stretch. And it's kind of like you kind of play up for the moment. Like we know this team we have history with them, and they're going to be playing for their football lives. And we're playing for our lives too as far as when it comes to trying to finish the season the right way and get a 1 seed and get home field advantage. So I expect nothing less. I expect another classic. I expect this defense to come out and ball out. Offensively is another conversation, but defensively, I expect this group to come out, get pressure, get some turnovers off Josh because he's just known to give the ball away. But it's going to be a way better matchup from our standpoint just because we have way better DBs in the secondary and pass rushers than we
Mm-hmm.
did the previous 2 or 3 or 4 matchups we've seen the Bills.
Yeah, yeah. I think I said earlier in a couple Twitter spaces that I kind of feel like the Bills are identical twin right now, and
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of playing similarly to kind of how we're playing. Just it's been unfortunate with the turnovers. That's been some of the main reasons they've lost games.
Mm-hmm.
Just too many bad decisions by Josh Allen. Too many bad throws and you lose.
Yep.
They're I feel like they're one of those teams as well. They look stat wise and what they've been doing this year. They should be like a 10-2 team, and because of the turnovers, they're 6-6. You know,
They've had so
and
many injuries, bro, on the defense,
yeah, and then
man.
the injuries have really killed them. Losing Milano was huge.
Facts,
Tre'Davious White going down was pivotal for them.
man.
I know they lost some other guys in that mix too, but those two guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball, yeah, just devastating for
It's
them
hard to
at this
win in
point
this
in time.
league, man.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
hard.
hard to overcome that, especially when you lose special players like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I like I said, I think that they're kind of playing similarly to how we're playing. This game makes me a little nervous just because of how capable Josh Allen is.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, in Arrowhead, he loves to turn it on.
Turn it up,
Um,
huh?
yeah, So I really think that this is a game where our defense, can really prove to the league, like, hey, these elite quarterbacks, we can shut them down as well
Facts.
too. And
Mm-hmm.
one big key I really like about this matchup, this go around, is that we'll actually have Trent McDuffie out there.
Facts.
And the last time we saw them in Arrowhead, we didn't have him on the field, and
Exactly.
for him to be able to do some of the things, especially what he's been doing this year,
Facts.
I think can really help. I think a big part in facing Josh Allen is how do you stop his legs?
Yep.
Because
Keep him in
he's
the
so
pocket.
dangerous. With getting outside the pocket, extending plays,
Mm-hmm.
and then hell, he's dangerous just being their running game at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You
he's a
know,
weapon. Mm-hmm.
so what do you foresee Spags doing that will I mean, you can never really stop a guy,
Yeah.
like that. That's that
Mm-hmm.
elite. But how do you
Yeah.
contain a guy like that?
Josh Allen's an amazing player, like you said, a guy that can take over a game at any moment. He can be when he's playing at his best, DG, he's a top 2 quarterback in my opinion. But when he's playing at his worst, he's arguably the worst quarterback in football. That's just how he varies. He's kind of Jekyll and Hyde. I
It's
would
no
hope
in
we get.
between.
There's no in between with him. He's either playing great football or he's having a terrible game. There's really no in
Mm-hmm.
between like an average. So hopefully we
Yep.
get a bad version of Josh this week. But from an honest standpoint, because we are to tell the truth, he's a quarterback that you have to always be prepared for with his legs on third down when at any type of moment
Mm-hmm.
because he can get out of a pocket and run for a first down and extend the play. So like I said, big arm can make every throw, can throw up a football through a keyhole. That's how strong his arm is. So he's going to have his plays where he's going to get out the pocket. We just have to make sure we're having our spies in place, making sure we're not allowing him to outrun our rush. So keep your rush leveled with him. This is a game where you're not necessarily rushing to get sacks. You're rushing to keep him in the pocket. You know he wants to run the ball and he likes to be aggressive with the football, as Nani says. And he'll get, like I said, DG, he's going to give you opportunities. It's
Jameis
it's it's,
2.0
it's
is crazy.
I mean, she's right though. Like it's guaranteed. Josh Allen is going to give you an opportunity to get an interception. He's going to give you multiple opportunities to get an
Yeah.
interception because he
Right.
has literally he's the definition of a gunslinger. Very strong
Mm-hmm.
arm. He's accurate. Can make every throw. But sometimes there's throws he can make that he shouldn't make, and he does that pretty frequently throughout the game. So there's going to be some opportunity. I wouldn't be shocked if this defense got 2 picks this week. That's just how
Yeah.
Josh Allen's been this year. He's going to throw for he's going to have like 35, maybe 40 attempts. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to put the ball in harm's way at least multiple times in each half, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of the player he's been. Because DG, he knows, hey, my defense is going to give me stops this year. So he has to
Mm-hmm.
overcompensate for them by being ultra aggressive on offense. So they haven't really been a traditional running football team. James Cook's tried to get involved, but nothing's really come of that. They've kind of committed to this 10 personnel. DG is Dalton Kincaid, is Khalil Shakur, Gabe Davis, and Stephon Diggs. And those are the
Mm-hmm.
guys they roll with. That's their four. So and they kind of roll with them. And they live and die with whatever Josh does, whether it be scrambling for plays on 3rd and long, or whether it be using him in the tush push and quarterback sneaks, or him taking deep shots to Diggs and moving the chains with Shakur and Kincaid. And that's kind of how they run their offense right now. Kind of similar to things we've seen before. But like you said, DG, we're way more equipped to go against the receiving core than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
Like any defense we've had versus Josh Allen, he's never seen a defense like this in Kansas City, ever. So Arrowhead, with a defense coming off a loss, should be pissed off getting your emotional leader back in Nick Bolton. I expect
325 kick.
325 kick. So you know it's going to be game of the week. We're going to be on CBS. Is Tony Romo calling the game?
Yes, he is.
Him and Jim Nance. Hello, friends. You know all the good old stuff. So it's going to be a big game. Every time the Chiefs, anytime Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes on the field together, it's always must-watch TV. But from a defensive standpoint, I expect our defense to go out there and play well, just because we've seen every offense we could this year, every type of quarterback we have seen we've done this year. So I truly expect a good performance from Spags and his defense, given the fact they played bad, guys are coming back off injury, and guys are just pissed off, obviously, at the way that game ended. So I expect them to come out very spirited, very locked in, and have a good day on defense for sure.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go back to this comment. The game plan.
Mr. Shepherds, oh boy.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've been dealt with.
Can they pull the fire alarm at his hotel?
The assignment of Carl Cheffers. So
Carl, oh boy.
Only really, man, to overcome that task, that little notch in the game.
Pretend he's not there.
Man, basically, Chiefs are gonna have to be have an emphasis to be very disciplined this game.
Super disciplined with this guy.
I understand, like, of course you can't ask them to do that for a full 60 minutes. They're gonna be penalties at some point unless they just come out and play the perfect game.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lord help us. Yeah. But man, when you get referee assignments like this, you just have to tell your guys kind of, this is a point where you got to be disciplined. You got to do the right thing, make the right plays. No extracurriculars after plays.
If they say something, let it go.
Yeah, let it go. You're at home. You're the home team. Feed off the home crowd. You know, this is your house. Protect it.
Absolutely.
So I feel like those are just some ways to kind of overcome that. And then at the end of the day, man, the refs are gonna be the refs. Man.
Refs gonna ref, bro. They gonna
what it is. Like at the end of the day, they're human. They're gonna make mistakes as well too.
We just can't make that many mistakes. Yeah. Keep them to a minimum, please.
Yeah, limit your mistakes. Limit your
no turnovers.
Yeah, your opportunity. Yeah, the turnovers would definitely not being there would help you definitely win this game. So if you can win the turnover battle against this team, I feel like if you get 2 turnovers off the Bills and you don't turn the ball over,
you leave out there with a dub.
Yeah, you're winning that game. Unless Josh Allen just throws for 6 touchdowns and something like that and just has the game of his life after that or whatever. But I don't foresee that happening. Offensively, facing this defense, Bills defense kind of has been, I guess you could say, up and down. They've been good at points in this year. They do some things really well. They get after the quarterback really well. I think they're 3rd in the league in sacks, if I'm not mistaken.
The defense of the quarterback still.
They got and although some of the injuries have been in their secondary, the secondary is still played very well. The addition of Rasul Douglas, I think, has kind of helped them over the stretch. Give them a little
veteran presence.
Yeah, give them a little veteran. And then you got 2 safeties who are veterans who've been all pros, who know what they're doing, and Micah Hyde
and Poyer.
And Poyer. What do you see from this Bills defense that you feel like the Chiefs are gonna have to do to kind of key? And yes, Von Miller will be playing. He'll be on the field on Sunday.
From a defensive standpoint, obviously they're very young at corner. Obviously that's why they brought in Rasul Douglas to give them some kind of veteran leadership. So they've been giving up a lot of big plays this year, whether it be via run game or via pass game. Like DG said, they've just lost so many. Like Daquan Jones is out for the year, I believe. Matt Milano, their best player on defense, in my opinion, who's out, and Trey White is out. Von Miller is back, Pop, but I think he's kind of still, rehabbing from that knee. He's clearly not 100%.
He has been the same player at all.
He's older, I think.
He's got 1 tackle on the year, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, he's like, bro, I think Von's, 34 now? About to be 35. He's torn that same ACL twice, and
Mm-hmm.
just with old age, and now you're coming in the middle of a season, and already the defense already isn't playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on a guy who's almost 35 to be one of your higher impact players on defense, that's just a lot to ask at this point in his career. So
Mm-hmm.
this defense has given up a lot of yardage via
Mm-hmm.
run game and pass game. So there are great opportunities for this offense to go out there and right their wrongs and be explosive on this Buffalo Bills defense. But at the same time, it doesn't matter until you eventually go out there and do the things you need to do, which is give your three best players the football. So I could
Yeah.
talk to you all day about what the Bills defense, because I mean they do place confidently in the back end with their safety group, like DG said, because Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are two very, very, very well run and oriented safeties. They know how to get everybody lined up and to be in place. The thing that
Mm-hmm.
struggles with the Bills is their corner play isn't the greatest, and obviously they're not getting too much of a pass rush because Von Miller's your best pass rusher. Like Arrowhead Chief Podcast said, he's probably washed. Not gonna lie, Von Miller's a Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it. He's a guy that's an all-decade team player, one of the best. And like we obviously know him because he played for the Broncos for years. So I don't know if it's over.
Look,
I,
we
I
ain't
didn't
gonna
want. I
get
didn't
into
want. We ain't getting
none
into
of
that,
that.
Pop.
I don't. We don't have
We keeping
no
on between the
details.
white lines.
Yeah,
Football.
yeah.
So
That's all I know right now. He's
I
gonna
don't
be
know
on
nothing
the
about that one,
field.
Pop. I don't know about that. That's
He didn't
funny
go
though.
to the exempt list or anything like that. So supposedly, the only thing I know right now is the charges could be dropped. Is what I'm hearing or
I
whatever.
heard that she said that the rumors weren't true, so I'm guessing the
Yeah,
charges were dropped.
she kind of recanted on, I guess, on some of
Yeah,
the stuff that
a
happened
lot of
or
stuff
whatever.
going on that me and
Yeah.
DG don't need to get into. We
Either
let
way
y'all
though,
have that.
Von Miller is gonna be playing.
He'll
So
be
yeah.
playing Sunday against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. So overall, this defense is not as talented as the one we've seen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Um, obviously they've been giving up a lot of yards, like I said. They've been had in the run game. You can get on them via play action. You can kind of do whatever you want against this defense. They're pretty much not the same unit they've had over the years. They're used to having number one defenses, being top five and being great in pass. And they're still a veteran led team, and they're going to come in and play hard. They still
Mm-hmm.
try to get after the passer. They still try to rush. They still try to send pressure when they have to. But they just don't have the same talent that they're used to having in years past. So they're going to have to. This team knows they're going to have to score 40 to beat most people, or at least 35 to win a game, because they just can't hold people down like they used to. So if our defense can come in and give Josh Allen issues and get back to our standard, if we can hold the Bills to under 24 points this game, I could see us winning this game like 27-24, kind of similar to the one we had a couple
Mm-hmm.
weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I could easily see this offense going there getting a turnover or two, just because Josh Allen's been doing that the entire year. The
Right.
defense can't hold up. They can't stop nobody. It's an overall lackluster defense to what they've had in the past. It's just not really much to say about it. They're just not the same group. They're just losing too many bodies. So they're giving up yards to almost everybody they play.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for this Dolphins to go in there and establish their dominance and go out there and work on some things and get back to being consistent on the red zone, please. Please, God, be consistent in the red zone.
I think this is a game where you can kind of get some things going over the middle of the field. I think this is a game where Kelsey kind of has a big game, just off of personnel and matchup alone. Them not having Milano,
that's big, bro.
That's big. To me that hurts them a lot, especially with having to deal with Travis Kelsey. I know they probably got some guys over there that's probably capable of being of going out there and handling that assignment, but I don't know if they can handle the same way Milano would be able to, and McDermott being able to scheme up the way he would like to. So I think this is a game where you kind of have to get Kelsey involved maybe early to kind of open up some things,
get that
especially for the guys on the outside. If they start keying in on him, then maybe some of these guys on the outside like Rasheed and Sky and MVS and Justin Watson can kind of get going. And hopefully, what I would love for us to see from us is to kind of get back to our quick passing game.
Facts.
So
that's why I'm saying like block and flat. And flat.
Little less of developing routes.
Quick game.
And then establishing a run. Establishing Pop, getting him going early and often, and then just being the more physical team. Dominating at the line of scrimmage. And we had that one game in the COVID year where we went up there and we ran the ball very effectively.
Yep,
on
that was
them
a Clyde
and
game
just,
too.
Yeah, man, just took it to
that.
them. So hopefully we get to see something like that. Speaking of the offensive line, we seen Donovan Smith kind of on the injury report with a neck
Got a
stinger.
neck
It,
injury.
it seems like that's something that's going to kind of bother him. So now Wanya Morris is being asked to kind of step up. Andy today said that there's a good shot that he'll play and start this Sunday, which means Donovan Smith is probably going to be out and inactive for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what do you right now? What do you see from him as far as the way he's playing? I feel like he came into that Packers game and he brought a different type of physicality and athleticism to that line that they kind of needed at that point in time. That Donovan, you can clearly tell that he's struggling with an injury right now that he can't just do at this point.
Absolutely. While he was there, he was very dominant in the run game. He's very good grade as far as getting hands on people and getting his feet in position, stepping with the proper foot, proper hand placement, finishing plays, finishing drives. Wanya played great on Sunday. So I expect this O line to come in there and just like that. Remember, we've had situations where we've had to swap left tackles in. Like when Orlando Brown Jr., when he played for us 2 years ago, he went down. Joe Tooney had to go to left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
We've had guys like um, obviously like Torian Prince, we had him for our team. So we've had other guys have to come. And
Mm-hmm.
whether it be Wanya, whether it be Prince, whether it be any like Joe Tooney going to left tackle, we've had multiple guys step into this position. Obviously, left tackle is your most important position on O line. We've
Mm-hmm.
had multiple guys step in and handle their business on their own. And for Wanya to play that long in the game, to be his first full time start, and obviously he didn't get it from the first snap, he played very well. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that D line that he saw in Green Bay is playing better than the Buffalo D line we'll see this Sunday,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So that group is playing better. So to come in that moment in that atmosphere on the road and to play that well, I was very
Yeah.
surprised and definitely proud of how well Wanya played because that's been the biggest
Yeah.
question this offseason. What are we going to do at left tackle? Whether we decide to start a rookie or start, he'll be a second year guy next year. Do we decide to bring Donovan back, get another veteran? This is kind of like his resume, DG. Like he's
Yeah.
going to really get a chance to show I'm the guy next year, so you
Mm-hmm.
can start me and you don't have to worry about going to draft and find another guy for this
Yeah.
solution. So this is his moment right now, and I'm pretty excited for him. But
Yeah.
our O line obviously could have had a more of a cleaner game. Some of the calls we didn't agree on during the Packers game. But overall, we've ran the ball extremely well. So not too many complaints from me, DG. From a
Yeah.
pass pro standpoint, Juwan Taylor, Donovan Smith are going to have their misses here and there. They're tackles. It happens. We pass the ball a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
from a run blocking standpoint, we've been great at keeping hat on a hat, using our power, using our man gap schemes, getting up, creating seams to let Pacheco run through. Pacheco's finishing drives, the O line finishing drives, DG. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very happy what this O line is doing running the football. Which, like you said earlier, this is our identity now. This is what we
Yeah.
should lean into. This is
Yeah.
a game where you should establish your run game, keep Josh Allen on the bench, let him go over there and sulk, think about those 13 seconds. And once
Mm-hmm.
that doubt creeps into his mind, you know he's going to throw you an interception, and then we'll
Yeah.
walk out there with a W. So,
Yeah. Yeah, the earlier you can get ahead, I feel like the better you got chances you have of forcing Josh Allen to do something stupid.
exactly.
If you can get a lead and get ahead, then that allows them the Bills to kind of have to go up into hurry mode and try to put some
Mm-hmm.
points on the board, especially passing the ball out more, which gives you more opportunities to make plays on the ball.
Exactly.
So if you can do that, especially with this offense, establish the run, get like I said, get Pop and Kelsey going pretty early in the game, and then being able to open up some things maybe downfield at that point in time. I know we haven't had the explosive plays like we wanted to, probably since early on in the season. I think the last big explosive plays we've had was like the Chargers game at home or something like
That's
that.
probably, yeah, that MVS
You
one.
know,
Yeah, probably
and
is.
like
Yeah.
so I would feel like if you got going early, if you got those guys going early, then maybe you might get some of those shots and catch the Bills in some busted coverages or things of that nature, and maybe be
Oh,
able to
they
make
will. They'll give you some coverages.
yeah, and maybe
They're
be
going to
able to
bust a
make
couple of them,
some big plays
for sure.
down the field. The biggest I do want to get to one thing, just who you feel like on our side is the key, well, not the key factor, but the player that you think may step up and have a big game in this spot right here.
Shamari Connor. I've been clamoring, waiting for his moment all year.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it had to be with a Brian Cook injury, so obviously our thoughts and prayers with him. Hopefully, he comes back healthy. But we've been begging to see what Shamari Connor could do because obviously there's always another conversation. DG, what do we do with Snead? He's obviously playing at a high level. He's a guy that's
Mm-hmm.
been playing at a Pro Bowl level that deserves to get paid. So there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of questions that we have to answer this offseason. So there's two young guys that have big storylines: Wanya
Mm-hmm.
Morris on offense, Shamari Connor on defense,
Yeah.
replacing two bigger positions that we could have need be for this team next year. Donovan Smith at left tackle, Justin Reed as our other safety. So
Mhm.
if these guys can come in, and specifically to Jamari's point, we've seen athletic plays in the preseason, DG. We've seen him make a couple plays in the
Mhm.
regular season as well. One of my favorite performances by him was that Dolphins game. He rallied to the ball, made tackles, broke down, and wrapped up very well. Didn't let a lot of guys run past him. Haven't seen
Mhm.
too many plays from him in coverage because obviously he probably hasn't been targeted as much. But
Mhm.
overall, I think this is his moment to truly show how good he can be and how he can be a starter for this team in the future instead of
Yeah.
just being in the rotation. And maybe we can get some other guys off the books and save some money. So this is a
Mhm.
big game for Chamari Connor. And it's a big matchup, too, because you're going against Dalton Kincaid, one of the better young tight ends in the league right now. He can run
Mhm.
and he can catch. He's 6'5". It's a big-time matchup. It ain't no joke at all. So Chamari going to have his workout up for him for
Yeah.
sure. But I'm
Yeah.
excited for him this Sunday to see what he can do.
Yeah. I would say probably on the offensive side of the ball, I really think, and I'm gonna hope. I know this is probably a long shot,
How
but I'm gonna hope that KT gets heavily involved in this game, and
many
that
touches? How many touches is heavily involved? What do you think?
I would think at least 6 or 7. You
6 or 7
know,
touches? Okay.
something like that. Where I know you can't put a lot on him because you don't know how well he's gonna hold up through the whole
Exactly.
game. Of course, we all know I've been saying it all year. He's kind of made of glass. It just is what it is at this point.
Great player. It is what it
Yeah,
is, though.
but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he brings a certain dynamic to this offense that if he gets the ball in his hands, especially in good opportunities, that he can make some plays for you,
Facts.
make some guys miss, and be really effective. Especially when, like I said, if you're able to get Pop and Kelsey going early,
Mm-hmm.
then you got some chances to kind of go to KT and have some explosive
That's the
plays.
sprinkle. That's the sprinkle you
Yeah,
mentioned.
the
Yep.
little sprinkle in there. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's an emphasis for Andy to kind of get him heavily involved, kind of like in that Eagles game,
Mm-hmm.
where he was involved a lot, putting him in the backfield, putting him in certain situations where
Mm-hmm.
he can make some plays and make some guys miss in that nature. So hopefully that happens. But of course,
No
Andy
trick
gonna
plays, no passes, please.
and yeah, Andy gonna be Andy at the end of the day.
Andy gonna be Andy.
So, but you got you got a score prediction for this game?
Ooh, toughie. I think our defense, Nick Bolton coming back is huge. What's the over under now, DJ? I get a chance to look at
I
it.
think it was at
Uh,
48,
48. Ooh, nice.
48 and a half, I believe.
Okay, not a bad number. Ooh,
Right.
I'm gonna go. I think our defense gets back on track this week. I'm gonna go Bills 20, Chiefs 23 in a
Yeah, it's
dogfight.
48 and a half.
48 and a half. I'm gonna take
Mm-hmm.
the under. Chiefs 23, Bills 20 in a dogfight. We get out of there with a dub.
Yeah. I think I had it at I didn't give a prediction in space earlier today.
Yeah.
Or whatever, because I don't like to be held to score predictions, man. But
I don't want to be held responsible.
right. 20 I'm gonna say 26-23. I think the Chiefs get a
I
dub.
think something
I
like
think
that too. Yep.
they right the ship.
Facts.
And I think I think I think this game is kind of the game where we see Pat be Pat.
Yeah.
We haven't kind of seen that in a while. Um, although he hasn't been terrible, he hasn't been great. And I think this is the Sunday where you see
He
him be
looks
great.
great.
Yeah,
Yep.
he goes back to being great again. I need to see that. I need that confidence
Facts. This
instilled
is need
back
to get that
into me.
rhythm going.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
I'm still that guy. I'm still here.
Facts.
Or whatever. So
I'm
this,
here.
yeah, and this is one of them games I feel like 15 kind of he gets up for,
Facts. It's
or
gonna be a big
whatever.
game. Every time he play Josh, we know how it go.
Yeah,
Yep.
what the narrative is. Him and Josh
They
are
fighting for their life. We fighting for our life. So
right.
everything's on the line. So
A
it's gonna
lot of
be a good
people
matchup.
think they're the new Brady and Manny matchup.
I think
Um,
that's the combo, huh?
yeah, that's the standard that they're kind of held to at
Mm-hmm.
this point. So I think you do kind of see both quarterbacks kind of come out and play really good games, and I think we get a really clean um, 26-23 low key under shootout.
It's like it could be like a. I can see it going both ways, or I can see it being a dogfight. So like
Mm-hmm,
26-23 is not crazy. 23-20 is kind of around the same
mm-hmm.
things. I don't see our defense playing that bad 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, this was
So hopefully Nick Bolton's out there. He's gonna have a cast from, I believe. That's gonna be interesting to see.
yeah, yeah.
How did they attack him? Excuse me.
Yeah, Noni, I know we say this. We probably say this every
Nani, you have to take the bright
week.
spots, Nani. We're running the
Right.
football. We didn't
Yeah.
say that last week, Nani. So we're doing something
I
right. One thing at a time.
at
Can't get
this
mad about everything.
at, at this point in time, they've been moving the ball
We've ran
effectively.
the ball
It hasn't
amazing the
been
last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it hasn't been the ability to move the ball. It's just when they get in the
Excellent.
red zone, the execution and the penalties have killed you. You know,
Facts.
and then maybe some of that has to do with a little bit of the play calling once they get in the red zone. But I just feel like coming home at this point in time, they haven't been Arrowhead in a while. I think the last home game was the
The
Eagles
Chargers.
game Monday night.
Oh, the Eagles. Yeah, Eagles game Monday.
So you haven't been in front of Arrowhead in a little bit. 2 weeks,
Sunday,
two
3
weeks
o'clock,
away.
baby. We outside.
Right, so hopefully they be able, like I said, we'll be half of the Tell the Truth crew will be in the building, and hopefully we'll be able to help them to victory. Probably be a little tipsy, a little drunk, but
Hey.
right, be able to help them
Yeah.
out to get a dub. Let's go around the league, man. Look at some of these other games that's coming up.
It's a good slate this weekend. A lot of
Yeah,
playoff
yeah.
implications slate for sure. I like it.
Right. We got what's it, week 14?
We are in week 14. That is
All right.
correct, mundo.
We got Thursday night is Patriots versus Steelers.
Bro, imagine somebody giving you money and say, "Hey, you have to pay money to watch this football game." I will be saying, "You
Like,
pay me
I
money for
don't
even
even
making me
know.
watch this."
Listen, man. That is
Terrible of
probably
terrible
gonna
games.
be the worst primetime game in
Since,
NFL history.
since that Colts, remember that Colts Broncos one last year when nobody
Yeah.
scored. This
Oh,
is gonna
that
be
one was
that bad.
bad.
It's gonna be that bad. Like,
Yeah,
if you
that
wanted
one
to
was
make some
bad.
money, people go bet the under. Go bet no touchdown. Go bet no
Yeah.
points in the first half. Take all the unders. You're gonna hit one of these. You're gonna make some money. So you're
Yeah.
welcome. I just gave y'all some money for Thursday.
I would say make sure you take Bailey Zappi's under on his yards. That passing offense stinks.
Stinks.
They're
Take Mitchell
they're
Trubisky's under too.
they're terrible, man. Like that
This is
that
going to be.
Patriots offense is disgusting.
This is going to be the most
Um,
ugly football game I've ever seen in my life, and
yeah.
it's on the
So
road in Pittsburgh. Oh yeah, this is
if
terrible.
you got anything else to do on Thursday night, I would advise that you probably
Take your
do that.
lady out, take your man out, take your kids
Oh,
out. You
NBA
ain't
will be
missing
on.
nothing. Yep,
Uh,
NBA's on. Watch that. Watch
in
college
season tournament.
basketball.
Yeah, yeah. You
Watch
can watch
catch up
that.
on your favorite TV show. Cook some dinner.
Yeah, being
Go out
something.
for your kids' soccer,
Yeah,
basketball practice. Do
take the
anything
kids
you
on a
want to
walk.
do. Anything. Take your dog out. Go get a
Right,
haircut. Go get your nails. No, whatever. You ain't missing nothing on Thursday night. I promise you.
right.
You can do
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. Go ahead, do
Uh,
whatever you need.
Another intriguing matchup, which I didn't feel like would be an intriguing matchup, is Colts and Bengals. Two teams
Crazy.
that are,
Colts is in a playoff team. Ooh,
and the
they
Bengals
close.
are right there. Maybe maybe they can make a late push or
Who would have
whatever.
thought Jake Browning and Gardner Minshew be going at it for two
Yeah,
potential playoff
Jake
teams?
Jake Browning looked like prime Peyton Manning on Monday night
Bro,
last
he
week
was
against the Jags.
35 of like 39 or 34. He only
Like,
missed like 4 or 5 passes. I'm like, God,
bro,
Lordy, who do y'all
who
think this kid
expected
is?
this man to throw over 300 yards and play the way he did? Like, I was like,
350 DG is crazy. And I talked to some of like people who were like Jags fans. I was like, how did y'all let Jake Browning go like 34 of 39, like 350 yards? He said, bro, I have no idea how he did that. Like,
right.
I'm just genuinely shocked. I'm not saying the Bengals couldn't have played well, DG, but they made it look very, very easy. It looked like Joe Burrow was out there. I was like, what's
Yeah.
the difference? It looked like
No,
y'all had
no.
him out there because he was diming y'all up the whole game. I thought it would be a little bit of a drop off. He didn't look like a backup at all. I'm like, all right,
That
eventually he'll look like a back. He didn't at
that's
all.
why I was a little bit petty. If you guys ever pull up to Sports After Dark on Twitter, I was
Shout
a
out
little
Sports
bit
After
petty
Dark.
after the game and saying, "Is it the receivers or is it Burrow?"
Well, like,
Because
is it a system? It looked like it to
it
me.
looked like the receivers to me.
Jay
You
Crowder was out there moving that ball. I'm like,
nah.
hey, bro, who that
Nah, but
is?
I'm trolling, man. I know how incredible of a talent Joe Burrow is.
Yeah,
And hopefully prayers out to him. Hopefully he comes back healthy
definitely
and
praying for
strong
Joe.
and ready to
Him
go.
and Trevor. Hopefully they come back healthy,
Yeah.
man. That's tough. That's tough.
Um, Another intriguing matchup. You got another division game between the Seahawks and 49ers at a three
Ooh, back
three
to
o'clock
already
kickoff. Yeah, they just played on Thanksgiving not too long ago, so
running
uh,
that.
it kind of got the similar division schedule we kind of got where
Mm.
we had to play the Broncos like back to back
Twice
weeks
in 3 weeks.
almost.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That makes sense. And this game will be in San Fran this time.
yeah.
So I
Do
expect
you
the.
do you foresee the Seahawks being able to walk in San Fran and virtually pulling off an upset?
Geno Smith did look better versus Dallas. I'll give him that. He looks healthier, and he still had the elbow condition whenever he had with the sleeve on. So he
Mm-hmm.
threw the ball way more aggressively down the field, being more aggressive down the field, and completing a lot of those deep shot passes to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
from this standpoint, the Niners are a way better football team than the
Yeah.
Cowboys. So from a Seahawks standpoint, you struggled at times during this year, but they kind of turned the corner versus Dallas. So my first mind was to say the Niners are going to beat the hell out of them, DG, and it's not even going to be close. But now, given the fact how Seattle played, I think the
Mm-hmm.
game may be a lot closer than people want it to be, just because I think they've gotten healthier on offense. The defense
Mm-hmm.
is playing better with spurts, and they have corners to match up. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just overall, usually San Fran out physicals them to where their defense can't do nothing about it. And I expect them to do the same thing. Like the
Yeah.
Niners are going to run the football. McCaffrey's going to be successful. He's going to score. Debo's going
Yeah.
to get his touches. He's going to score. That's just how their offense is. But these two teams know each other, DG. You know, the second time you play a division team is always a tougher one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting the Niners to win. I don't think it's going to be obviously. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Seahawks keep it close. I
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks ago. I would have told you they're going to beat the Seahawks by 30, like they did on
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving. But Seattle showed me something versus Dallas. Like, all right, they're not just laying down; they're actually fighting for their lives right now, and they
Yeah.
played better in spurts in that game. So I'm gonna give them
Right.
their respect, but I got the Niners winning that one.
Yeah, I think I would take the Niners in that matchup too. I think they're just the most complete team in the
Mm-hmm.
league as far as offensively and defensively, very physically imposing. I just think that's something Seattle has a very tough time matching up with.
Mm-hmm.
Only way I really see the Seahawks kind of winning that game is if the Niners come out and they just make a lot of mistakes, turn the ball over,
Mm-hmm.
do something very uncharacteristic. But
Make
I think
terrible
right
mistakes.
now, I think right now, Kyle Shanahan's got that team in their bag.
They rolling.
They're rolling. They're back to being who they are. That little three game losing streak, I think, kind of woke them up and
Mm-hmm.
got them to the point of uh of where they are now. Yeah,
As they going.
exactly. Go where? Yeah, I hate to break it to you, brother. He's here
He
for the
gonna be
next three
starting, brother.
years.
Yeah, so
So,
get used to
um,
it.
but yeah, regardless of the Seahawks not being as imposing, physically imposing to them, I think that's one of the reasons why they end up losing this game. Uh, I'm gonna move on to probably the matchup of the week, which is one of the biggest rivalries in the NFL is the Eagles and Cowboys game.
That's a big
Uh,
one.
yeah, Dallas
Ooh.
comes in hot off a big win against the Seahawks at home, which in a
Mm-hmm.
shootout. Eagles kind of coming in limping off a loss, probably a little desperate at this point to kind of get
As they
things
should be. Yep.
turned around.
Mm-hmm.
Big Sunday night in Jerry World. Um,
This
who
may
do
be for
you?
the division right here, DG.
Yeah, who do you see winning this game? I know the Cowboys are definitely going to be motivated. They gotta get a dub, in order to
Yeah.
stay relevant in the division.
As much as this may hurt some people, I think I may pick Dallas this time, bro. And the last time they played them in
Mm-hmm.
Philly, Philly did everything possible to give that game away and lose it. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, not fortunately for them, but the Philly found a way to win that game at the end. But they were getting stopped on third and short, DG. They were not
Mm-hmm.
finishing drives in the red zone. They were turning the ball over. Like Dallas really outplayed Philly in that game. They just didn't finish the game to get the win. So
Mm-hmm.
if that happens again, obviously Philly's coming off a tough game versus the Niners. They're going to be pissed off and be motivated because they just got whooped on national television by the Niners. So it's going to be an emotional game just because they naturally hate each other. They're rivals. But
Yeah.
Dallas was on their heels and should have beaten them the first time. So
Mm-hmm.
given how they played and Philly's been dealing with a lot of injuries, I'm gonna go Dallas, bro. I think Dallas pulls it off and finally gets a dub this week. I think
Yeah.
they get it first now. Not finally,
Yeah.
but like compared to some of the top teams in the NFC, I think Dallas pulls it off the win this week.
I'm with Dallas too, and the reason why is just because I really feel like the Cowboys can receivers at this point in time can get anything they want on that
Bro, Philly
secondary.
secondary is food right now. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and I don't know Philly fans are probably run this back and probably kill me for it, but yeah, James Bradbury and Darius Slay just haven't looked
they
the
giving it
same,
up,
and
boy.
I know the addition of Kevin Byard has kind of maybe helped a little bit
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But at the same time, that defense, if that defensive line isn't getting home the same way they were last year,
It's over, bro. They food.
yeah. So
They really
they
food.
can. I feel like they can kind of be had in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
I think it's one of those games that probably ends up being a shootout a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still feel like Jalen and that offense and the receivers, the weapons that he has, I still feel like they can move the ball. I
He's
don't think
crazy,
that
Pop.
happens this time. I really think Dak
I think
Prescott.
Dallas get them this time, man. They gotta
Yeah,
eventually do it, so why not now?
Dak has been playing a lot better, especially over this year. This is probably the best year of his career so
That's
far.
exactly why he has to win this game, DG. He's playing some of
Yeah,
the best ball he's had. If
yeah,
not now, when? You have to go out there
yeah.
and win this game
Definitely,
to possibly help you get that one seed.
definitely been playing at a very MVP level. I don't
Absolutely.
think
Dak been
they
balling.
win a lot of the games they won this year without him.
Absolutely.
So I expect Dallas to be ready, motivated, and this is a big spot for them. They're at home on Sunday
Big
night.
game.
I think this is a game where they kind of prove to the league and to the world that they're serious and that they're an actual contender. I know a lot of people they harp on Dallas for saying, "Oh, y'all say this every year that Dallas is this and that." I'm maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a little bit delusional or whatever. Maybe I'm drinking a little bit of a little bit of the Kool-Aid or
The
whatever. But
Kool-Aid.
right, but I feel like this could be the year that maybe Dallas does kind of get over that hump.
Their
You know,
defense is doing the same thing they did 2 years ago.
right,
They're turning the ball over at a crazy rate and they're
right.
scoring
Yeah,
off those turnovers. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. So
Deron Bland has definitely been a big piece for them this year and kind of stepped in and helped out with that role of losing Diggs or
yeah, great
whatever.
line for
That
sure.
defensive line has always been playing well this year. Michael Parsons is definitely one of the best defensive players in this league.
He a dog for sure.
He made a big play last Thursday night when they needed it, when they needed him to kind of step up and make a play. So I expect some of those same things this Sunday night in Dallas, and expect them to get a big win. Um, we'll roll to Monday night. So I don't know if a lot of people know this. Monday night, there are two games. And it's the
A double header, baby.
Packers and Giants, which, like I said, if you got something else to do, I
Go
advise
handle
you
your business.
go handle your business. Titans and Dolphins are playing as well too. That may be a little bit more of a competitive game if you want to go ahead and watch that one. I know Tyreek is going for that receiving record. I think he needs 519 yards or something like that
Oh
to
yeah,
break
he's super.
2,000.
We got 5 games left.
So if you're looking for a prop to play, I would take Tyreek's yards for
Every week.
sure.
He going for
He's
the
chasing,
record.
yeah, he's chasing the record. I'll take his
Every week.
yards, his receptions. Definitely chasing the record. They're gonna get him heavily involved in their game plan. He is their game plan.
Facts.
So if you're looking for a good play, I think that might be a good one to take, especially on the yards.
Mm-hmm. I'll take his receptions, take him yards, all those
Yeah,
things for sure. Like
yeah,
this is Tennessee secondary is bad, so you could bet to
yeah.
his completions, to his passing yards. Bad opportunity for them to go against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle for sure.
Right. Yep. Um,
Absolutely.
so if you want to play that, put in some. You got any other good props you could look at early on? Maybe
The
for
the under tomorrow, like we said, is a great prop.
mhm.
Take the I would say probably take who because the Jags are playing they're playing the Browns this week, or am I tripping?
The
Or that
Jags,
next week.
yeah, the
You
Jags
got the Browns.
are the Jags are on the road in Cleveland this week.
I would expect both running backs to get ample touches. So if you want a prop, that's probably a safe one. I would
Mm-hmm.
take Jerome Ford, the running back for the Browns. Take him or Kareem Hunt, take their rush attempts. And I would take Travis Etienne, take his rush attempts as well. Both
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks are backups. I know they've been dealing with DTR, been dealing with his injury. PJ Walker's been coming in and out. Although they brought in Joe Flacco to come in and try to help that offense to be somewhat stabilized and have to get some stability. But they're going to feed their running back. So I would bet Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford's rush attempts, and I would bet Travis Etienne's rush attempts for the Jaguars as well.
Yeah. I think Travis Etienne is definitely going to be heavily involved.
Yeah, Sunshine being hurt,
Especially
that
with
sucks. That sucks.
especially with Pops calls it the sunshine with him going
No
down.
Goldilocks, he out, man.
Yeah. I would expect his rush attempts would probably be a good play to
They're gonna
take.
get fed for sure.
Yeah. And then Christian Kirk also being out for them for the rest of the
Bro, I
year.
forgot about that. Dang, they
Yeah.
got hit with two injuries. Man.
Right. It was I think it was dubbed as a core muscle injury.
Jeez, yeah, he looked like he grabbed the groin as soon as he caught the ball. Man,
it definitely wasn't pretty. I think he definitely tore something in that groin.
Bro. That's tough. That's
it's
so
gonna
tough.
probably require surgery to keep him out.
Man,
they said he may be able to come back, but it's probably looking like it's gonna be late.
he literally caught the ball, DG, and just fell down. Like,
Yeah,
nobody touched him. Caught the ball and just fell straight down.
right. Very unfortunate. Praying for him, man. Hopefully he come back healthy.
Absolutely, pray
maybe
for Kirk, man.
A speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
For him. But man, I think that's it for us, y'all. You know, Chiefs Bills 3:25 kickoff. Like I said, me and CJ will be out at the game. If you're going, and you find us, come up,
We
snap a
take
picture.
pictures.
Yeah, we take
Feel me?
pictures or
We outside.
anything
We
like
ain't got no
that.
merch, but we gonna have some.
Right.
Hopefully, Country and Chuck don't pay us no money.
You want
They
to
don't
come
give
up
us no merch.
CJ's the go-to always for gambling and prop advice. So if you got some plays you want to put in for the late game slate on Sunday, find him in the parking lot. I'll probably be somewhere near close as well too. So
We outside. Stop playing.
Yeah, man, it should be fun. If you're going to the game, come loud, come proud. I'm ready to cheer.
Yeah.
Our guys are definitely gonna need it. It's a big game for them on the slate. So
big game, baby. Bills versus Chiefs. Ooh, every time they play, it's a classic. It's always a good game. So
every time
you're gonna get good product.
Every time. We appreciate everybody for pulling up tonight and hanging out with us.
Thank you.
D-Mac will be back soon or whatever to help.
Prayers for D-Mac. D-Mac on IR right now.
Right, run this
we got to
thing
get D-Mac
a little
healthy.
bit better. I don't get paid enough to do this, so
he got a 10-day activation window. If D-Mac ain't back by next week, I'm filing a complaint.
I know we ain't had no clips or anything like that tonight or whatever.
We got to get better. We'll be better, y'all. We promise.
We'll be like Chris Jones said today. We'll be better.
We got to be better. We help each other out. We're balancing our defense and our offense out right now. So.
Right. I believe is Country them on Thursday.
Yeah, they should be on Thursday. Yep. As much as bad as that game is, they better get their show done whenever they feel like.
Then that's another thing. If you want a Thursday, watch
hop on Kingdom Cast, shop in with the family, listen to Country, Chuck, Kylie,
pull up with
Bug,
the guys.
all of them. Thursday, you will be. I know you ain't watching the game, so you should be watching the show.
No graphics, no PowerPoints tonight. I don't.
No PowerPoints.
I'm not technology wise.
We're figuring this thing out, Nani. We'll be better. We need a producer, man. They don't pay us enough for this.
Yeah,
me and DG, we just talk. We need producers.
Yeah, man. Should have pulled Chuck up. He should have got him in here tonight.
Yeah, where Chuck at, man? Help us out. God damn.
But yeah, man. Like always, like we said, appreciate all y'all for pulling up, man. Tell the Truth podcast. Thank you guys, and we out, man.
We out.